Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're going to be talking about something quite serious. Please bear with me and stay till the end because the information contained within this video is going to be really important and maybe shocking to some of you, but it's important to know this information so that we can affect some change. So recently there was an article even put out by the Leicestershire police regarding an incident that happened involving an older woman. She was in her 40s and a young boy. I feel like I have lost my son. He isn't the same person that he was before, and I don't think he will ever be. These are the words of a mother whose teenage son was exploited by a woman for sexual gratification. The boy was under 16 years old when Katie Thompson, who was in her 40s, got to know him and on becoming aware of his vulnerabilities, then used her knowledge to befriend him. So she knew that, or she found out that he was a vulnerable person and used that to gain his trust, basically. This is what I'm reading into this. This led to text messages being discovered by the victim's family in June last year between Thompson and the victim, which suggested that Thompson and the victim had met and taken part in sexual activity. The messages also suggest that Thompson paid him. So the fact that she paid him now becomes an extra crime, if you will, because he's essentially being paid to have sex, which is a criminal offence when it refers to exploitation. In this instance is the case. Yesterday, Tuesday 20th of June, at Leicester Crown Court, Thompson, 43, of Priory Road, Wellingborough, was jailed for 18 months after pleading guilty at a hearing in April to paying for sexual services of a child. She was also made subject to a 10-year sexual harm prevention order and a 5-year restraining order. The incidents which took place last year have left a massive impact on the victim and his family. His mother told officers that they have lost the once outgoing and vibrant son they had and been left with a son who has shut himself off from the world. She said, "It's heartbreaking to see the impact Thompson's actions have had on my son and the whole family. Our family life has been turned upside down. He's cut himself off from us and many of his friends. He is withdrawn and spends most of his time in his bedroom. He struggles to open up to people. He's confrontational as that's the only way he can release his emotions." When we came across those text messages last summer, we didn't realise the true impact of what the investigation subsequently uncovered. He has absolutely no interest in his future career, one that he was passionate about achieving. He has lost interest in achieving any qualifications or a career of any sorts. Thompson has robbed our son of everything, and I hope she realises the impact her actions have had and will continue to have on our lives. Now, that woman only received 18 months in jail for that offence that she committed. Now, we talk about a lot of the time it's men committing offences like this. Men do bad things to girls and men commit a lot of offences, right? And yes, there are a lot of men, but the reason we're talking about this one today is because it highlights that there are indeed women that do the same thing. there's not as many, certainly, but there's still some, and it needs to be talked about, because at the end of the day, as you've just heard there, a young boy's life is laying in tatters now. He doesn't want to do anything with his life. He's withdrawn, he's depressed, and everything else. And this is all because of some woman who decided that she would take it upon herself and destroy that young boy's life for her own gratification. So, I had a look into something which is going to shock everybody, because, I shouldn't be surprised, but what I uncovered was indeed shocking to even me. So let's get right into it. We're going to have a look into the sentencing structure for offences such as this, because I'm feeling, as many people also felt, that a man would probably receive a much longer sentence, basically. So I'd like to find out if that was possibly true. So let's get into it. Paying for the sexual services of a child. Now that is what she was charged with and sentenced for, right? So this is the part that's relevant, and also very relevant in this is that for the purposes of this section of the law, under the age of 18 is a child. Now, I need you to listen and understand what I'm about to say. This section relates to the severity of crimes, the type of crimes, and how long you'll get, basically, if you commit such a thing. And it comes under 3 categories. This is specifically for offences against children between the ages of 13 and 15. And the category 1, now I'm not going to read it out because YouTube won't like that, so please read the screen right there, category 1, and read exactly the words. These are the things that you can be charged for doing to a child, right? Bear in mind that she could not possibly do this to him, okay? Biologically, physically, she can't do that. And then there's category 2. And again, she wasn't guilty of this one either. And category 3, that's all other activity. So, given that hers was not related to categories 1 or 2, then it must be category 3. So now we come on to culpability, and this is a full list of things which would make the offence significantly worse. Say if she used alcohol to get him to do whatever, that would make it something worse. And this is the list. Significant degree of planning, offender acts together with others to commit the offence, use of alcohol or drugs, grooming behaviour used against him. I would say yes, that was probably one of the factors that she used. Abuse of trust, I don't know that. I'm not quite sure how she met him, so there's no link to suggest that she is in a position of trust, but we don't know that. Use of threats like blackmail, sexual images recorded, retained, and things. Specific targeting of particularly vulnerable child, I would say yes, that is also a factor. Offender lied about age. Significant disparity in age, that's another factor. Commercial exploitation and or motivation, that is another one that relates to buying, like soliciting for money purposes. Then a couple more: offence racially or religiously aggravated and things like that. So I counted there about 5 different factors which would amplify the amount of time that would be added on to any sentencing. Basically, I'm trying to explain this as best I can, because it's not, like, I'm not an expert either. I've just basically learned what I've been reading, and so basically, if you have used any of this list of items to commit the act, then it makes it worse, and the more that you use, the worse and the longer sentence you're likely to get, basically. And then we have culpability B, which is factors in category A not present. So anything that wasn't in the first list goes in the second list. So now we get down to the actual sentencing guidelines, and this is the interesting part. So first up, we have category 1. It's like a flow chart or a mix and match chart. Basically, if you are in category 1, remember what we said about category 1. If you are a male with male bits and you can only put it into female bits, then that is category 1. What this woman did does not count as category 1. Bear that in mind. But for the purposes of learning how this all works, if we look here, category 1, which is what we just mentioned it was, plus category A for culpability, would mean a guide price of 5 years in jail. And anywhere between 4 and 10 years is recommended, depending on how bad the offence was. If your offence came under category 2, which again this one did not for her purposes, but for our purposes of learning, the guide is 3 years in prison, but anywhere between 2 and 6 years depending on how bad the offence was. Now, category 3, this is the part that we're interested in. And remember, category 3 is anything that does not come under categories 1 and 2, which is, in this instance, a female who has sex with a male. Okay, that is important. The starting point, which is the guide, is 26 weeks in custody. 26 weeks. That's 6 months. The range goes from community service to 3 years, depending on how bad your offence is. Now, here's the problem that we have as society, okay? And now, bear in mind, well, I'll bear in mind that I know that the majority of my listeners here, my viewers, are in fact women. And so just imagine, maybe you've got a son, you've got boys. If they had a woman do this to them, she would not be able to be charged in the same manner that a male would if they did the same thing to a girl, your daughter, right? It's not the same thing. And the problem comes down to genitalia, unfortunately. And I can't quite grasp why, but just to prove my point here, because I'm almost 100% certain I'm right, and if anybody knows in the comments below, let me know if I'm actually wrong, but I am almost certain that I am absolutely right. But we're going to just check for a second, and this should pretty much clear up where the law is with this sort of thing. Okay, so this is taken off official sources, the actual government website, right? And this relates to the R word. A person commits an offence if, read this, okay? this is very important. Again, I can't read it out because YouTube will not like it. And it says he, that's the important part. If he does that to those parts of body with his, and obviously he doesn't consent and things like that, right? But the important part is there is literally nothing that says that a woman can R-word a male, whether that be a man or a boy. She cannot do it. By law, she cannot be prosecuted for that particular offence. She can, in fact, be prosecuted as an accessory to this offence, even if I'm not sure if that means if she has committed the offence or not, whether she is still an accessory even though she's the one that's perpetrated it. I don't know. But this is where the law is absolutely shocking. See, I have a feeling I know why they think that a woman cannot R-word a male, because but I'm not going to say the words in as many words. It is wrong. It can happen. Physiologically and psychologically, it can happen. Even if the male does not want it, it can happen. So the law is, this is where we're at, and I just wanted to bring this up because I read that article about something related to this, and it struck me that women are not being treated the same as males because they think that females can't commit the same act. That basically they are saying that if a female and a male have sex, then it must be, to a degree, it must be consensual. That's essentially what they're saying, and that is absolutely crap. It is beyond the pale of crap. I have no further words to describe it other than that way. I cannot explain right. So that's essentially where we're at. I hope I've managed to explain to some degree in this entire video of waffle exactly what I meant and what I mean to say and what the law says is true, and that I've understood how the law is actually working. I hope to some degree you've managed to understand what I've been trying to say to you, because it's my job to try and get it across in an intelligible way, and I feel like I probably haven't actually done that. So if you would like to go back, watch it, rewatch it, watch it again, and maybe rewatch it again after that, maybe you'll understand what it is I'm trying to say. And I do hope you've managed to make it to the end of this video, because I know, again, it's been waffle, and I promise you that probably more than half of the people probably switched off after about 5 minutes. So I hope you've managed to make it to the end. If you have made it to the end, please comment down below, made it to the end, and I'll know. Thank you all so much. Until next time, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to cover, because I can delve into so many different things, and anything like this I'd like to shine a light on. Thank you all so much. Until next time, have a lovely day, take care of yourselves, and bye bye.